¡Hostia! ¡Un dragonite a un paso! Voy a buscarlo.
Espera, mira lo que ha pasado hoy. Un vídeo que dice que no se puede crear.
What's up guys, today I'm going to be reading the entire B movie script with a little plot twist. Every time the word B comes up, I'm going to say all the previous ones. So like halfway through when I say B, I'm going to have to say like the other 50 B's already said, and yeah, so hopefully you enjoy. If you do, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment, yada yada. Let's get right into it. Actually, you really should subscribe though. Okay, B movie script. According to all known laws of aviation, its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. There's no way it should be able to fly. The bee, of course, flies anyways, because bees, don't care what humans think is impossible. Yellow, black, yellow, black. Yellow, black, yellow, black. Oh, black and yellow. Let's shake it up a little. Barry, breakfast is ready. Hang on a second. Hello? Barry? Adam? Owen, you believe this is happening? I can't. I'll pick you up. Looking sharp. Use the stairs. Your father paid good money for those. Sorry. I'm excited. Here's the graduate. Very proud of you, son. A perfect report card. All B's. Very proud. I didn't have to repeat it because I was like the letter B, not like the word. You got it? Very proud. Ma, I got a thing going here. You got lint on your fuzz. Oh, that's me. Wave to us. We'll be in row 118,000. Bye. Barry, I told you, stop flying in the house. Hey, Adam. Hey, Barry. Is that fuzz gel? A little. Special day. Graduation. Never I thought I'd make it. 3 days grade school, 3 days high school. Those were awkward. 3 days college. I'm glad I took a day and hitchhiked around the hive. You did come back different. Hi, Barry. Artie. Growing a mustache? Looks good. Hear about Frankie? Yeah. You going to the funeral? No, I'm not going. Everybody knows. Sitting someone, you die. Sitting someone, you die? Oh, sounds scary. Don't waste it on a squirrel. Such a hothead. I guess he could have just gotten out of the way. I love this incorporating an amusement park into our day. That's why we don't need vacations. Boy, quite a bit of pump. Under the circumstances. Well, Adam, today we are men. We are. Be men. Be. Amen. Hallelujah. Students, facility, distinguishing bees. Please welcome Dean Buswell. Welcome, new Hive Ossity graduating class of 915. That concludes our ceremonies. And begin your career at Hunex Industries. Will we pick our job today? I heard it's just orientation. Heads up, here we go. Keep your heads and antennas inside the tram at all times. Wonder what it will be like. A little scary. Welcome to Hunex, a division of Hunesco, and a part of Hunexigan Group. This is it. Wow. We look at you as a bee. Have worked your whole life to get to this point where you can work for your whole life. Honey begins when our valiant pollen jocks bring the nectar to the hive. Our top secret formula is automatically color corrected, scent adjusted, and bubble contoured into this shooting sweet syrup with its distinctive golden glow you know as honey. That girl was hot. She's my cousin. She is? Yes, we're all cousins. Right, you're right. At Hunex, we consistently strive to improve every aspect of bee existence. These bees are stress testing a new helmet technology. What do you think he makes? Not enough. Here we have our latest advancement, the curlemin. What does that do? Arches that little strand of honey that hangs after you pour it. Saves us millions. Owen, anyone work on the curlemin? Of course. Most bees are small ones, but bees know that every small job, if it's done well, means a lot. But choose carefully, because you'll stay in the job you pick for the rest of your life. The same job the rest of your life? I didn't know that. What's the difference? You'll be happy to know that bees bees, as a species, haven't had one day off in 27 million years. So you'll just work us to death. We'll sure try. Wow, that blew my mind. What's the difference? How can you say that? One job forever? That's an insane choice to have to make. I'm relieved. Now we can only have to make one decision in life. But Adam, how could they never told us that? Why would you question anything? We're bees. Bees, 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 bees. We're the most perfectly functioning society on Earth. You ever think maybe things work a little too well here? Like what? Give me one example. I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. Please clear the gate. Royal Nectar Force on approach. Wait a second. Check it out. Oh, hey, those are pollen jocks. Wow. I've never seen them this close. They know what it's like outside the hive. Yeah, but some don't come back. Hey, jocks. Hi, jocks. You guys did great. You're monsters. You're sky freaks. I love it. I love it. I wonder where they were. I don't know. The day's not planned. Outside the hive, flying who knows where, doing who knows what. You can't just decide to be a pollen jock. You have to be bred for that. Right. Look, that's more pollen than you and I will see in a lifetime. That's just a status symbol. Bees, 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 bees. Make too much of it, perhaps, unless you're wearing it, and the ladies see you wearing it. Those ladies? Aren't those our cousins too? Distant. Look at these two. Equals of hive Harrys. Let's have some fun with them. Must be dangerous being a pollen jock. Yeah, once a bear pinned me against a mushroom. He had a paw on my throat, and with the other, he was slapping me. Oh my, I never thought I'd knock him out. What were you doing during this? Trying to alert the authorities? Can I autograph that? A little gusty out there today, wasn't it, comrades? Yes, gusty. We're hitting a sunflower patch 6 miles from here tomorrow. 6 miles, huh? Barry. A puddle jumped for us, but maybe you're not up to it. Maybe. I said puddle, I meant poodle. Maybe I am. You are not. We're going 0900 at J-Gate. What do you think, Buzzy Boy? Are you B, 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 B enough? I might be. It all depends on what 0900 means. Hey, Hunex. Dad, you surprised me. You decide what you're interested in? Well, there are a lot of choices, but you only get one. Do you ever get bored doing the same job every day? Son, let me tell you about stirring. You grab that stick, and you just move it around and stir it around. You get yourself into a rhythm. It's a beautiful thing. You know, Dad, the more I think about it, maybe the honey field just isn't right for me. You were thinking of what? Making balloon animals? That's a bad job for a guy with a stinger. Jeanette, your son's not sure he wants to go into honey. Barry, you are so funny sometimes. I'm not trying to be funny. You're not funny. You are going into honey, our son, to stir. You're going to be a stirrer. No, listen to me. Wait, till you see that sticks I have. I could get anything right now. I'm going to get an ant tattoo. Let's open some honey and celebrate. Maybe I'll pierce my thorax, shave my antenna, shack up with a grasshopper, get a gold tooth and call everybody dog. I'm so proud. We're starting work today. Today's the day. Come on, all the good jobs will be gone. Yeah, right. Pollen counting, stumpy, pouring, stir, front desk, hair removal. Is it still available? Hang on, 2 left. One of them's yours. Congratulations, step to the side. What'd you get? Picking crud out. Stellar! Wow! A couple of newbies? Yeah, sir, our first day. We are ready. Make your choice. You want to go first? No, you go. Oh my, what's available? Restroom attendants? Open. Not for reasons you would think. Any chance of getting the curlman? Sure, you're on. I'm sorry, the curlman just closed out. Wax monkey's always open. The curlman opened up again. What happened? A B, 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 died. Makes an opening. See? He's dead. Another one dead. Deadly terrified. 2 more dead. Dead from the neck up. Dead from the neck down. That's life. Oh, this is so hard. Heating, cooling, stunt, B, 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 pour, stir. Humming, insector, number 7, lane conditioner, stripe supervisor, my wrangler, Barry. What do you think I should? Barry? Barry! All right. We got the sunflower patch in quadrant 9. What happened to you? Where are you? I'm going out. Out where? Out there. Oh no. I have to, before I go to work for the rest of my life. You're gonna die. You're crazy. Hello? Another call coming in. If someone's feeling brave, there's a Korean deli on 83rd. That gets their roses today. Hey, guys, look at that. Isn't that the kid we saw yesterday? Hold it. Son, flight deck's restricted. It's okay, Lou. We're going to take him up. Really? Feeling lucky, are you? Sign here. Here, just initial that. Thank you. Okay. You got a rain advisory today? And as all you know, bees, 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 bees. Cannot fly in rain. So be careful. As always, watch your brooms. Honey sticks, dogs, birds, bears, and bats. Also, I got a couple of reports of roof beer being poured on us. Murphy's at home because of it, babbling like a cicada. That's awful. And a reminder for you rookies. B, 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 B. Law number 1. Absolutely no talking to humans. Alright, launch positions. Bzz, 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 bzz. Black and yellow. Hello. Are you ready for this, hotshot? Yeah, bring it on. Wind, check. Antenna, check. Nectar pack, check. Wings, check. Stinger, check. Scared out of my shorts. Check. Okay, ladies, let's move out. Pound these pinatas, you strip stem suckers. All of you, drain them flowers. Wow, I'm out. I can't believe I'm out. So blue. I feel so fast and free. Box kite. Wow, flowers. This is blue leader. We have all roses visual. Bring it around 30 degrees and hold. Roses, 30 degrees. Roger, bring it around. Stand to the side, kid. It's got a bit of a kick. That is the one nectar collector. Never seen pollination up close. No, sir. I picked up some pollen here. Sprinkled it over there. Maybe even a dash there. A pinch on that one. See that? It's a bit of a magic. But that's amazing. Why do we do that? That's pollen powder. More pollen, more flowers, more nectar, more honey for us. Ooh, I'm picking up a lot of bright yellow. It could be daisies. Don't we need those? Copy that visual. Wait, one of those flowers seems to be on the move. Say again? You're reporting a moving flower? Affirmative. That was on the line. This is the coolest. What is it? I don't know, but I'm loving this color. It smells good. Not like a flower, but I like it. Yeah, fuzzy. Chemically. Careful, guys. It's a little bit grabby. My lord, sweet of bees. Candy brain. Get off there. Problem. Guys, this could be bad. Affirmative. Very close. Gonna hurt. Mama's little boy. You're out of position, rookie. Coming in at you like a missile. Help me. I don't think these are flowers. Should we tell him? I think he knows. What is this? Match point. You can't start packing up honey because you're about to eat it. Yowzers. Gross. There's a bee in the car. Do something. I'm driving. Hi, bee. He's back there. He's going to sting me. Nobody move. If you don't move, he won't sting you. Freeze. He blinked. Spray him. Granny! What are you doing? Wow. The tension level out here is unbelievable. I gotta get home. Can fly in the rain. Can't fly in the rain. Can't fly in the rain. Can't fly in the rain. Mayday. Mayday. Bee going down. Bee. 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 Going down. I'm gonna start marking it just so I don't get confused. Ken, could you close the window, please? Ken, could you close the window, please? Check out my new resume. I made it on a fold-out brochure. You see? Folds out. Oh, no. More humans. I don't need this. Wait, what was that? Maybe this time, this time, this time, this time, this time, this. Drapes! That is diabolical. It's fantastic. It's not going all over my special skin. You have my top 10 favorite movies. What's number 1? Star Wars? Nah, I don't go for that kind of stuff. No wonder. We shouldn't talk to them. They're out of their minds. When I get a job interview, they're flabbergasted. Can't believe what I say. There's the sun. Maybe that's the way out. I don't remember the sun having a big 75 on it. I predicted global warming. I could feel it getting hotter. At first I thought it was just me. Wait, stop. B, 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 B. Stand back. These are winter boots. Wait, don't kill him. You guys know I'm allergic to them. This thing could kill me. Why does his life have less value than yours? Why does his life have any less value than mine? Is that your statement? I'm just saying all life has value. You don't know what he's capable of feeling. My brochure. There you go, little guy. I'm not scared of him. It's an allergic thing. Put that on your resume, brochure. My whole face could puff up. Make it one of your special skills. Knocking someone out is also a special skill. Right. Bye, Vanessa. Thanks. Vanessa, next week? Yogurt night? Sure. You know what? Whatever. You can put carbo chips on there. Bye. Supposed to be less calories. Bye. I gotta say something. She saves my life. I gotta say something. Alright, here it goes. Nah. What can I say? I could really get in trouble. It's B, 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 B. Law. You're not supposed to talk to humans. I can't believe I'm doing this. I've got to. Oh, I can't do it. Come on. No. Yes. No. Do it. I can't. How could I start it? You like jazz? No, that's no good. Here she comes. Speak, you fool. Hi. I'm sorry. You're talking. Yes, I know. You're talking. I'm so sorry. No, it's okay. It's fine. I'm just dreaming. But I don't recall going to bed. Well, I'm sure this is very disconcerting. This is a bit of a surprise to me. I mean, you're a bee. B, 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 B. I am, and I'm not supposed to be doing this, but they're all trying to kill me. And if it wasn't for you, I have to thank you. It's just how I was raised. Just how he was raised. That was a little weird. I'm talking to a B, 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 B. Yeah, I'm talking to a B, 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 B. And the B, 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 B is talking to me. I just want to say I'm grateful. I'll leave now. Wait, how did you learn to do that? What? The talking thing. Same way you did, I guess. Mama, daddy, honey. Pick it up. That's very funny. Yeah. Bees, 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 bees are funny. If you didn't laugh, we'd cry. What would we deal with? Anyways, can I get you something? Like what? I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know, coffee? I don't want you to put out. It's no trouble. It takes 2 minutes. It's just coffee. I hate to impose. Don't be ridiculous. Actually, I would love a cup. Hey, you want rum cake? I shouldn't. Have some. No, I can't. Come on. I'm trying to lose a couple of micrograms. Where? Those stripes don't help. You look great. I don't know if you're anything about fashion. Are you alright? No. He's making the tie in the cab as they're flying up Madison. He finally gets there. He runs up the steps into the church. The wedding is on. And he says, watermelon? I thought you said Guatemalan. Why would I marry a watermelon? Is that a B, 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 B joke? I want to die. That's the kind of stuff we do. Yeah, different. So what are you going to do, Barry? About work. I don't know. I want to do my part for the hive, but I can't do it the way they want. I know how you feel. You do? Sure. My parents wanted me to be a lawyer, a doctor, but I wanted to be a florist. Really? My only interest is in flowers. Our new queen was just elected with the same campaign slogan. Anyway, if you look, there's my hive right there. See it? You're in Sheep Meadow? Yeah, I'm right off the Turtle Pond. No way. I know that area. I lost a toe ring there once. Why do girls put rings on their toes? Why not? It's like putting a hat on your knee. Maybe I'll try that. You all know, right? Mama. Oh, yeah, fine. Just having 2 cups of coffee. Anyways, this has been great. Thanks for the coffee. Yeah, it's no trouble. Sorry I couldn't finish it. If I did, I'd be up the rest of my life. Are you? Can I take a piece of this with me? Sure. Here's a crumb. Thanks. Yeah. Alright. Well then, I guess I'll see you around. Or not. Okay, Barry. And thank you so much for before. Oh, that was nothing. Well, not nothing, but anyway, this can't possibly work. He's all set to go. We may as well try it. Okay, Dave, pull the chute. Sounds amazing. It was amazing. It was the scariest, happiest moment of my life. Humans. I can't believe you were with humans. Giant, scary humans. What were they like? Huge and crazy. They talk crazy. They eat crazy, giant things. They drive crazy. Do they try and kill you, like on TV? Some of them, but some of them don't. How did you get back, Poodle? You did it, and I'm glad. You saw whatever you wanted to see. You had your experience. Now you're back to your normal job to be normal. Well, I met someone. You did? Was she B-ish? B, 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 B. A wasp? Your parents will kill you. No, not a wasp. Spider? I'm not attracted to spiders. I know it's the hottest thing with the 8 legs and all. I can't get by the face. So who is she? She's human. No. That's a B, 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 law. You wouldn't break a B, 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 law. Her name's Vanessa. Oh boy, she's so nice, and she's a flowerist. Oh no, you're dating a human flowerist? We're not dating. You're flying outside the hive, talking to humans that attack our homes. Well, power watchers and M80s. 1/8 a stick of dynamite. She saved my life, and she understands me. This is over. Eat this. This is not over. What was that? That's called a crumb. It was so strippy. And that's not what they eat. That's what falls off what they eat. You know what cinnamon is? No. It's bread and cinnamon and frosting. They heat up. Sit down. Really hot. Listen to me. We're not them. We're us. There's us. There's them. Yes, but who can deny the heart that is yearning? There's no yearning. Stop yearning. Listen to me. You have to start thinking like a B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. My friend, thinking B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Thinking B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Thinking B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Thinking B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. There he is. He's in the pool. You know what your problem is, Barry? I gotta start thinking B. 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 How much longer will this go on? It's been 3 days. Why aren't you working? I've got a lot of big life decisions to think about. What life? You have no life. You have no job. You're barely... Oh, God. B, 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 B. Would it kill you to make a little honey? Barry, come out. Your father's talking to you. Martin, Would you talk to him? Barry, I'm talking to you. You coming? Got everything? All set. Go ahead. I'll catch up. Don't be too long. Watch this. Vanessa, we're still here. I told you not told you not to yell at him. He doesn't respond to yelling. Then why does he yell at me? Because you don't listen. I'm not listening to this. Sorry, I've got to go. Where are you going? I'm meeting a friend. A girl? Is this why you can't decide? Bye. I just hope she's... I hope she's... B, 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 B. 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 B, 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 B. Ish. They have a huge parade of flowers every year in Parsadania. To be in the Tournament of Roses, that's every flower's dreams. Up on a float, surrounded by flowers, crowds cheering. Tournament. Do the roses compete in the aesthetic events? No. Alright, I've got one. How come you don't fly everywhere? It's exhausting. Why don't you just run everywhere? It's faster. Yeah, okay, I see. Alright, your turn. TVO. You can just freeze live TV? That's insane! You don't have that? We have Hivo, but it's a disease. It's horrible disease. Oh, my. Dumb. B, 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 B. 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 You must want to sting all those jerks. We try not to sting. It's usually fatal for us. So you have to watch your temper very carefully. You kick a wall, take a walk. Write an angry letter and throw it out. Work through it like any emotion. Anger, jealousy, lust. Oh my goodness, are you okay? Yeah. What is wrong with you? It's a bug. He's not bothering anyone. Get out of here, you creep. What was that? A pick and save circular? Yeah, it was. How'd you know? It felt like about 10 pages. 75 is pretty much our limit. You really got that down to a science. I lost a cousin to Italian vague, I'll bet. What in the name of mighty Hercules is this? How did this get here? Audi BB BBB 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 B. Goldum. Focus on me, camera. My camera's not focusing on me. And I'm getting a phone call. We're gonna call timeout. Is he that actor? I've never heard of him. Why is he here? For people. We eat it. You don't have enough food of your own? Well, yes. How'd you get it? Bees. B, 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 B. B, 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 B. BB BBB BB BBB BB BBB BB BBB BB. Make it. I know who makes it, and it's hard to make it. There's heating, cooling, stirring. You need a whole curlum thing. It's organic. It's organic. It's just honey, Barry. Just what? Bees. B. B. BB. BB BBB. BB BBB BB BBB BB BBB BB BBB BB BBB BBB. Don't know about this. This is stealing. A lot of stealing. You're taking our homes, schools, hospitals. This is all we have. And it's on a scale. I'm getting to the bottom of this. I'm getting to the bottom of all of this. Hey, Hector, you almost done? Almost. He is here. I sense it. Well, I guess I'll go home now and just leave this nice honey out with no one around. You're busted, box boy. I know I heard you cheating, so you can talk. I can talk? And now you'll start talking. Where are you getting this sweet stuff? Who's your supplier? I don't understand. I thought we're friends. The last thing we want to do is upset. BB, BBB, 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 BB, You're too late. It's ours now. You, sir, have crossed the wrong sword. You, sir, will be lunch for my iguana. Iguana? Where is the honey coming from? Tell me where! Honey farms. It comes from honey farms. Or is in person. What horrible thing has happened here? These faces, they never knew what hit them, and now they're on the road to nowhere. Just keep still. What? You're not dead? Do I look dead? They will wipe anything that moves. Where are you headed? To honey farms. I'm on to something huge here. I'm going to Alaska. Moose blood, crazy stuff, blow your head off. I'm going to Tamako. Are you? He's really dead. Alright. Uh-oh. What is that? Oh no. A wiper? Terrible blade. Triple blade? Jump on! It's your only chance. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. What does everything have to be so dodgily and clean? How much do you people need to see? Open your eyes, stick your head out the window. From NPR News in Washington, I'm Carol Caswell. But don't kill no more bugs. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Moose blood guy, you hear something? Like what? Like Tiny screaming. Turn off the radio. What's up? B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. What's hey blood? Just a row of honey jars, as far as I could see. Wow, I assume whatever this trust go is where I'm getting it. I mean, that's honey ours, right? B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. We're all jammed in. It's a close community. Not us. Man, we are our own. Every mosquito on its own. What if you get in trouble? You're a mosquito, you in trouble. Nobody likes us. They just smack us. See a mosquito? Smack, smack, smack. At least you're out in the world. You must meet girls. Mosquito girls try to trade up, get with the moth, dragonfly. Mosquito girls don't want no mosquito. You got to be kidding me. Moose blood's about to leave the building. So long. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Hey, what's up, Moose Blood? I knew I'd catch y'all here. Did you bring your crazy straw? We throw it in jars, slap a label on it, and it's pretty much pure profit. What is this place? B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Got a brain the size of a pinhead. They are pinheads. Pinhead, check out the new smoker. Oh sweet, that's the one you want. The Thomas 3000. Smoker, 90 puff a minute. Semi-automatic, twice the nicotine, all the tar. A couple breaths of this knocks them right out. Then we make the honey, and we make the money. Then we make the honey, and we make the money. Oh my! What's going on here? Are you okay? Yeah, it doesn't last long. Do you know you're in a fake hive with fake walls? Our queen was moved here. We have no choice. Is this your queen? That's a man in a woman's clothes. That's a drag queen. What is this? Oh no! There's hundreds of them! Bee honey! Shit. BB BBB 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 BB. Yeah. Our honey is being brazenly stolen on a massive scale, blatantly stolen. This is worse than anything bears have done. I intend to do something. Oh, Barry, stop. Who told you humans are taking our honey? That's a rumor. Do these look like rumors? There's a conspiracy theory. These are obviously doctored photos. How did you mix up in this? He's been talking to humans. What? Talking to humans? He has a human girlfriend, and they make out. Make out, Barry. We do not. You wish you could. Whose side are you on? The bees. B B B B B. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. B, 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 B. I dated a cricket once in San Antonio. Those crazy legs kept me up all night. Barry, this is what you want to do with your life? I want to do it for all our lives. Nobody works harder than bees. B, 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 B. 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 B, B. Dad, I remember you, coming home so overworked. Your hands were still stirring. You couldn't stop. I remember that. What right do they have to our honey? We live on 2 cups a year. They put in lip balm for no reason whatsoever. Even if it's true, what can 1B do? B, 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 B. Sting them where it really hurts. In the face, the eye. That would hurt. No. Of the nose, that's the killer. That's the only place you can sting the humans. One place where it matters. Hive at 5. The Hive's only full hour action news source. No more bee beards. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. With Bob Bumble at the anchor desk, weather with Storm Stinger, sports with Buzz Laviar and Jeanette Chung. Good evening, I'm Bob Bumble and I'm Jeanette Chung, a tri-country. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. We're up to 50 bees. We're like halfway done. What the frick? Intends to sue the human race for stealing our honey. Oh snap. Packaging it and profiting from it illegally. Tomorrow night on Be Larry King, we'll have 3 former queens here in our studio discussing their new book, Osley Ladies, out this week on Hexagon. Tonight we're talking to Barry Benson. Did you ever think, I'm a kid from the Hive, I can do this? B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Have never been afraid to change the world. What about be a lumpus? B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. B Gandhi. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B, 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 B. Where I'm from, we'd never sue humans. We were thinking of Slickball or candy stores. How old are you? The bee community. BB, BBB, 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 BBB is supporting you in this case, which will be the trial of the bee century. BB, BBB, BB, BB, B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B I want to die. You know, they have a Larry King in the human world too. It's a common name. Next week, he looks like you and has a slow and super spindus and color dots. Next week, glasses, quotes on the bottom from the guest, even though you just heard them. Bear, next week. That's scary. Harry, here, live. Always lean forward, pointy shoulders, squinty eyes, very Jewish. And tennis you attack at the point of the weakness. It was my grandmother's king. She's 81. Sorry, sometimes I have to pause the recording, run out of memory. Honey, her backhand. It's a joke. I'm not going to take advantage of that. Quiet, please. Actual work's going on here. Is that the same? Is that the same B? B, 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 B. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B P B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. I'm getting worn out just from fucking talking. This is... Yes, it is. I'm helping him sue the human race. Hello. Hello. Hello, B. B, 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 B. This is Kid. Yeah, I remember you. Timberland. Size 10.5. Vibrant soul, I believe. Why? Does he talk again? Listen, you better go, because we're getting really busy. But it's our yogurt night. Bye-bye. Why is yogurt night so difficult? You poor thing. You have been at this for 4 hours. Yes, and Adam here. Needs a huge help. Frosting? How many sugars? Just one. I'll try not to use competition. So why are you helping me? Bees have good qualities. B, 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 B. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. I want to die. And it takes my mind off the shop. Instead of flowers, people are giving me balloon bouquets now. Those are great. If you got 3 and artificial flowers, those just make me psychotic. Yeah, me too. Bent stingers, pointless pollination. Bees must hate those fake things. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Nothing worse than a daffodil that had work done. Maybe this can make up for it a little bit. This lawsuit is a pretty big deal, I guess. You're sure you want to go through with it? Am I sure? When I'm done with the humans, they won't be able to say, honey, I'm home, without paying a royalty. That's an incredible scene here in downtown Manhattan, where the world anxiously awaits for the first time in history. We will hear it for ourselves if a honeybee can actually speak. Holy shit, we're up to 60. I want to die. What have we gotten into here, Barry? It's pretty big, isn't it? I can't believe how many humans don't work during the day. You would think billion-dollar multi-year food companies have good lawyers. Everybody needs to stay behind the barricade. What's the matter? I don't know. I just gotta chill. Well, if it isn't the... team. You boys work on this? Alright, it's the Honorable Judge Bumbleton presiding. Alright. Case number 4475, Superior Court of New York, Barry B. Benson versus the honey industry, is now in session. Mr. Mongolian, you are representing the 5 food companies collectively, a privilege. Mr. Benson, you're representing all the... I want to die. I really want to die. All the bees of the world? B. Of the world. Yeah, I'm kidding. Yes, Your Honor. We're ready to proceed. Mr. Montgomery, your operating statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my grandmother was a simple woman. Born on a farm, she believed it was a man's divine right to benefit from the bounty of nature God put before us. If we lived in a topsy-turvy world, Mr. Benson imagined, just think of what it would mean. I would have to negotiate with a silkworm for the elasticity in my breeches. Talking bee... Talking bee, how do we know this isn't some sort of holographic motion picture captured Hollywood wizardry? They could be using laser beams, robotics, ventriloquism, cloning for all we know. He could be on steroids? Mr. Benson, ladies and gentlemen, there's no trickery here. I'm just an ordinary bee. That I now have to say 65 times. I want to die. Honey's pretty important to me. It's important to all bees. Oh crap. We make it and we protect it with our lives. Unfortunately, there are some people in this room who think they can take it from us because we're the little guy. I'm hoping that after this is all over, you'll see by taking our honey, you're not only taking everything we have, but everything we are. I wish he dressed like that all the time. So nice. Call your first witness. So, Mr. Clauses Von Duren of Honey Farm. Big company you have. I suppose so. I see you also own Honey Burton and Hunron. Yes, they provide beekeepers for our farm. Beekeepers. Beekeepers, we're not going to count as the word bee because it's mixed with keeper. It's not just the word bee. We're only doing the word bee. I find that to be a very disturbing term. I don't imagine how you employ any bee freers, do you? We're not counting bee freers. Only the word bee. No, I couldn't hear you. No. Because you don't free bees. No, I couldn't hear you. No. Because you don't free bees. You keep bees. Quit saying the word. Oh, by the way, we're at 69. B B B B B. 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 B B B B. Not only that, as you think of it seems you thought a bear would be an appropriate image for a jar of honey. They're a very lovable creature. Yogi Bear, Fossil Bear, Build-A-Bear. You mean like this? Bears kill bees. Bears kill bees. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B 70. How'd you like his head crashing through your living room, biting into your couch, spitting on your throw pillows? Okay, that's enough. Take him away. So, Mr. Sting, thank you for being here. Your name intrigues me. Well, where have I heard that before? I was in a band called The Police. But you've never heard of police? You've never been a police officer, have you? No, I haven't. No, you haven't. So here we have yet another example of bee culture stolen by humans. Of bee culture. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B Casually stolen by a human for nothing more than a praise about stage name. Oh please, have you ever been stung, Mr. Sting? Because I'm feeling a little stung, Sting. Or should I say Mr. Golden M. Summer? That's not his real name, you idiots. Mr. Elodia, first belated congratulations on your Emmy win for a guest spot on ER in 2005. Thank you. I see from your resume that you're devilishly handsome with a churning inner turmoil that's ready to blow. I enjoy what I do. Is that a crime? No, it isn't a crime. Yet. But is this what I've come to you for? Explaining tiny helpless bees? B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Have to refresh your part and learn your lines, sir. Watch it, Benson. I could blow right now. This isn't a god fella. This is a bad fella. Why doesn't someone just step on this creep and we can all go home? Order in this court. You're all thinking it. Order, I say. Say it, Mr. Leda. Please sit down. I think it was awfully nice of that bear to pinch in like that. I think the jury's on our side. Are we doing everything right legally? I'm a florist, right? Well, here's to the great team. To the team. Well, hello. Ken, hello. I don't think you were coming. No, I was just late. I tried to call, but the batteries. I didn't want all this to go to waste, so I called Barry. Luckily, he was free. Oh, that was lucky. There's a little left. I could heat it up. Yeah, heat it up. Sure, whatever. So, I hear you're quite a tennis player. I'm not much for the game myself. The ball is a little bit grabby. Here, that's where I usually sit, right there. Ken, Barry was looking at your resume, and he agreed with me that eating with chopstick isn't really a special skill. You think I don't see what you're doing? I know you find it hard to get the job right. We have that in common. We do. Bees! B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B be. 70. Have 100% employment, but we do jobs like taking the crud out. That's just what I was thinking about doing, Ken. I'll let Barry borrow your razor for his fuzz. I hope that's always alright. I'm going to drain the old stinger. Yeah, you do that. Look at that. You know, I've just about had it with your little mind games. I'm dying. Kill me. What's that? Italian? Vague? Mamma mia, that's a lot of pages. A lot of ads. Remember what Vaughn said. Why is your life more valuable than mine? Funny, I can't just seem to recall them. I think something sinks in here. I love the smell of flowers. How do you like the smell of flames? Not as much. Water bug? Not taking sides. Ken, I'm wearing a chapstick hat. This is pathetic. I've got issues. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A royal flush. You're bluffing. Am I? Surf up, dude. Poo water. That bowl is gnarly. Except for those dirty yellow rings. Kenneth, what are you doing? You know, I don't even like honey. I don't eat it. We need to talk. He's just a little... He's just a little... and he happens to be the nicest bee I've met in a long time. Why am I doing this? I don't even know anymore. Line, huh? What are you talking about? Are there other bugs in your life? No. But there are other things bugging me in life, and you're one of them. Fine. Talking bees over yogurt night. No yogurt night. My nerves are fried from riding on this emotional roller coaster. Goodbye, Ken. And for your information, I prefer sugar-free artificial sweeteners made by man. I'm sorry about all that. I know. It's got an aftertaste. I like it. I always felt there's some kind of barrier between Ken and me. I could never comment. Oh well. Are you okay for the trial? I believe Mr. Montgomery is out of ideas. We would like to call Mr. Barry Benson B. He said the word B. B, B. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. I want to die. Leighton, you've gotten some weaves. You gotta weave some magic. With this jury, it's all gonna be over. Don't worry. The only thing I have to do is turn this jury around. Is to remind them of what they don't like about. Of what they don't like about bees. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Up to 80. You got the tweezers? Are you allergic? Only to losing. Son, only to losing. Mr. Benson, B. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. I'd like to ask you what I think we'd all like to know. What exactly is your relationship to that woman? We're friends. Good friends? Yes. How good? Do you live together? Wait a minute. Are you her little bad bug? I've seen a bee doc I've seen a bee documentary. Bee, 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 bee. Bee, 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 bee. Bee 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 bee. Or two. From what I understand, doesn't your queen give birth to all the children? Yeah, but so those aren't your real parents. Oh, very. Yes, they are. Hold me back. You're an illegitimate bee, aren't you, Benson? B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. He's denouncing bees. Don't y'all date your own cousins? Objection! I'm going to cushion this guy. I don't. It's what he wants. Oh, I'm hit. Oh, Lordy, I'm hit. Order, the venom is coursing through my veins. I've been filled by a winged beast of destruction. You see, you can't treat them like equals. They're striped savages. Stinging's the only thing they know. It's their way. Adam, stay with me. I can't feel my legs. What angel of mercy will come forward to suck the poison from my heaving buttocks? I will have to order this court. Order, please. The case of the honeybee versus the race. I'm not saying bee because we don't do it for honeybee. We only do it for bee. Why is my camera not focused on me? It's focused on me now. No, it's focused on my sticker. Focus on me, camera. Yeah, focus on me. Took a point and turn against the I want to die. Yesterday, one of their illegal teams stung Larton Team Montgomery. Hey, buddy. Hey, is there much pain? Yeah, I blew the whole case, didn't I? It doesn't matter. What matters is your life. You could have died. It'd be better off dead. Look at me. They got it from the cafeteria downstairs in a tuna sandwich. Look, there's a little celery still on it. What was it like to sting someone? I can't explain it. It was all adrenaline and then all the all right. You think it was all a trap? Of course. I'm sorry. I flew us right into this. What were we thinking? Look at us. We're just a couple of bugs in this world. What will the humans do to us if they win? I don't know. I hear they put the roaches in motels. That doesn't sound so bad. Adam, they check in, but they don't check out. Oh my. Could you get a nurse to close the window? Why? The smoke. Bees don't smoke. Right. Bees don't smoke. Bees don't smoke. But some bees are smoking. That's it. That's our case. Is it? It's not over. Get dressed. I've got to go somewhere. Get back to the court and stall. Stall any way you can. I'm assuming you've done step correctly. You're ready for the top. Mr. Flayman. Yes? Yes, Your Honor? Where's the rest of your team? Well, Your Honor, it's interesting. Bees are trained. are trained to fly haphazardly. And as a result, we don't make very good time. I actually heard a funny story about, Your Honor. Haven't these ridiculous bugs taken up enough of this court's valuable time? How much longer will we allow these absurd shenanigans to go on? They have presented no compelling evidence to support their charges against my clients who run legitimate businesses. I move for complete dismissal of this entire case. Mr. Flayman, I'm afraid I'm going to have to consider Mr. Montgomery's motion. But you can't. We have a terrific case. Where's your proof? Where's the evidence? Show me the smoking gun. Hold it, Your Honor. You want the smoking gun? Here is your smoking gun. What is that? It's a bee smoker. Why do they keep saying the word bee? I'm gonna die. Bee 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 bee. This couldn't hurt a fly, let alone a bee. Look at what has happened. Two bees who have never been asked smoking another bee. Why is it focusing on my agent sticker? Bee 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 bee. Look at what happened. Is this what nature intended for us? To be forcefully addicted to smoke machines and man-made one-slot work camps, living our lives as honey slaves to the white man? What are we gonna do? He's playing the species cards. Ladies and gentlemen, please free the bees. BB 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 BB. Free the bees. Beep 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 beep. Free the bees. Beep 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 beep. BB 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 BB. The court finds him in favor of the bees. BB 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 BB. Sorry, sometimes I have to stop the recording because it runs out of memory. I just gotta restart it. Oh, I'm getting lightheaded. All this. Now we don't have to work. We don't have to work so hard all the time. This is an unholy prevention of the balance of nature, Benson. You'll regret this. Barry, how much honey is out there? All right, one at a time. Barry, who are you wearing? My sweater is Ralph Lauren, and I have no pants. What if Montgomery's right? What do you mean? We have been living the bee The B way. This is killing me. This is honestly, what am I doing? A long time, 27 million years. Congratulations on your victory. What will you demand as a settlement? First, we'll demand a complete shutdown of all B work camps. Work camps. Then we want the honey. That was ours to begin with, every last drop. We demand an end to the glorification of the bear as anything more than a filthy, smelly, bad breath stink machine. We're all aware of what they do in the woods. Wait for my signal, take him out. Well, he'll have Narcissus for a few hours and he'll be fine. And we will no longer tolerate negative nicknames, but it's just the prance about stage name. Unnecessary inclusions of honey and bogus health products and la human tea time snack ingredients. Can't breathe. Bring it in, boys. Hold it right there. Good. Tap it. Mr. Buzzwell, we just passed 3 cups and there's gallons more coming. I think we need to shut down. Shut down. We've never shut down. Shut down honey production. Stop making honey. Turn your keys, sir. What do we do now? Cannonball. We're shutting down honey production. Mission abort. Aborting pollination and nectar detail. Returning to the base. Adam, you wouldn't believe how much honey was out there. Oh yeah? What's going on? Where is everybody? Are we out celebrating? They're home. They don't know what to do. Laying out, sleeping in. I heard your uncle Carl was on his way to San Antonio with a cricket. At least we got our honey back. Sometimes I think, so what if humans liked our honey? Who wouldn't? It's a great thing in the world. I was excited to be part of making it. This was my new desk. This was my new job. I wanted to do it really well. And now I can't. I don't understand why they're not happy. I thought their lives would be better. They're doing nothing. It's amazing, honey. It really changes people. You don't have any idea what's going on, do you? What do you want to show me? This. What happened here? This is not the half of it. Oh my, oh no. They're all wilting. Doesn't look very good, does it? No. And whose fault is it that is? You know, I'm going to guess. Bees. B B B B B B B B B B B B B Specifically me. I didn't think bees. Not needing honey would affect all these things. It's not just flowers, fruits, vegetables. They all need us. That's our whole SAT test right there. Take away produce, that affects the entire animal kingdom. And then, of course, the human species. So if there's no more pollination, you could all just go south here, couldn't it? I know this is all partly my fault. How about a suicide pact? How do we do it? I'm stinging you, you step on me. That just kills you twice. Alright. Right. Listen, Barry, sorry, but I gotta go. I had to open my mouth and talk. Vanessa, why are you leaving? Where are you going? To the final tournament of Rosa Parades in Pennsylvania. They've moved it to this weekend because all the flowers are dying. It's the last chance I'll ever have to see it. Vanessa, I just want to say I'm sorry. I never meant to turn out like this. I know, me neither. Tournament of roses. Roses can't do sports. Wait a minute. Roses. Vanessa, roses. Barry. Roses are flowers. Yes, they are. Flowers. Bee is pollen. I know. That's why this is the last parade. Maybe not. Could you ask him to slow down? Could you slow down? Barry, okay, I made a huge mistake. This is a total disaster. All my fault. Yes, it is kind of. I ruined the planet. I wanted to help you with the flowers, but I've made it worse. Actually, it's completely closed down. I thought maybe you were remodeling, but I have another idea, and it's greater than my previous ideas combined. I don't want to hear. All right, they have the roses. The roses have the pollen. I know every bee. I know every bee. Dude's life is hard. Tournament of Roses. Pasadena, California, they got nothing but flowers, floats, and cotton candy. Security will be tight. I have an idea. Vanessa Bloom, FTD, official Florida business. It's real. Sorry, ma'am. Nice brooch. Thank you. It was a gift. Once inside, we just picked the right float. How about the princess and the pea? I could be the princess and you could be the pea. Yeah, I've got it. Where should I sit? What are you? I believe I'm the pea. The pea goes under the mattress. No, not in this fairy tale, sweetheart. I'm getting the marshmallow. You do that. This whole parade is fiasco. Let's see what this baby will do. Hey, what are you doing? Then all we do is blend in with traffic, without arousing suspicion. Once at the airport, there's no stopping us. Stop! Security! You and your insect pack your float? Yes. Has it been in your possession the entire time? Would you remove your shoes, remove your stinger? It's part of me. I know, just having some fun. Enjoy your flight. And if we're lucky, we'll have just enough pollen to do the job. Can you believe how lucky we are? We just have enough pollen to do the job. I think this is going to work. It's going to work. Attention, passengers. This is Captain Scott. We have a bit of bad weather in New York. It looks like we're going to experience a colorless delay. Barry, these are cut flowers with no water. They'll never make it. I gotta get up there and talk to them. Be careful. Can I get help with the Sky Mall magazine? I'd like to order the talking inflatable noise and ear hair trimmer. Captain, I'm in a real situation. What'd you say, Hal? Nothing. B. How am I not done yet? We're up to 98. 98 times I said the word B. I feel like dying. Don't freak out. My entire species. What are you doing? Wait a minute. I'm an attorney. Who's an attorney? Don't move. Oh, Barry. Good morning. Passengers, this is your captain. Would a Miss Vanessa Bloom in 24B please report to the cockpit? And please hurry. What happened here? There's a dustbuster. A torpedo. A life raft exploded. One's bald, one's in a boat. They're both unconscious. Is that another B joke? B B B B B B B B B B B B B B 99. No one's flying the plane. This is your JF Control Tower Flight 356. What's your status? This is Vanessa Bloom. I'm 4 hours from New York. Where's the pilot? He's unconscious, and so is the co-pilot. Not good. Does anyone on board have flight experience? As a matter of fact, there is. Who's that? Barry Benson. From the Honey Trail? Oh, great. Vanessa, this is nothing more than a big metal bee. It's got giant wings, huge engines. I can't fly a plane. Why not? This is just John... Isn't John Travolta a pilot? Yes. How hard could it be? Wait, Barry, we've headed into some lightning. This is Bob Bundle. We have some late-breaking news from JFK Airport, where a suspicious scene is developing. Barry Benson, fresh from his legal victory, that's Barry, is attempting to land a plane loaded with people, flowers, and an incapacitated flight crew. Flowers? We have a storm in the area, and 2 individuals at the controls. Absolutely no flight experience. Just a minute. There's a bee on the plane. Bee. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. I'm quite familiar with Mr. Benson and his no accounting comrades. Oh, memory of Anila. And we're back. Sorry, sometimes my memory runs low and I just gotta pause. They've done enough damage. But isn't he your only hope? Technically. A bee shouldn't be able to fly that at all. We're up to 100. The surface area of the wings and body mass makes no sense. Get this on air. Got it. Stand by. We're going live. The way we work may be a mystery to you. Making honey takes a lot. Takes a lot of bees. The arm of my chair fell. Even it's getting tired. My throat hurts. And my camera's not focusing on me. B 101. Well, let me tell you about a small job. If you do it well, it makes a big difference, more than you realize. To us, to everyone. That's why I want to get back to working together. That's the B way. That's the B way. Black and yellow. Hello, right down, up, hover, forget hover. This isn't too hard. Barry, what's happening? Wait, I think we're on autopilot the whole time. That may not have been helping me, and now we're not. So it turns out I cannot fly a plane. All of you, let's go. Let's get behind this fellow. Move it out, move out. Our only chance is to do what I do. Do you copy me with the wings of the plane? Don't have to yell. I'm not yelling. We're in a lot of trouble. It's hard to concentrate with that panicky tone in your voice. It's not a tone. I'm panicking. I can't do this. Vanessa, pull yourself together. You have to snap out of this. You snap out of this. You snap out of it. 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 Hold it. Why? Come on. It's my turn. Oh, that's when they were slapping them. Now that makes sense. I'm tired. I think I'm almost over though. How's the plane flying? I don't know. Hello, Benson. Got any flowers for a happy occasion in there? The ball and jocks. You do get behind a fellow black and yellow. Hello. All right. Let's do this tin can on the backdrop where I can't see anything. Can you? No, it's all cloudy. Come on, you got to think, Barry. Thinking B. B 103. Let's go. Thinking B. Shit, another B. I want to die. He said thinking B twice, so that's why I gotta do it again. Beep, 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 beep. 104. Wait a minute, I think I'm feeling something. What? I don't know, it's strong pulling me, like 27 million year old instinct. Bring the nose down. Thinking B. What in the world is on the tarmac? Get some lights on that. Thinking B. Vanessa, aim for the flowers. Okay, out the engines. We're going in on B power. Oh, shit. Why do they keep saying the word B? I'm gonna die. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B B. Ready? Full reverse. Spinning around. Not that flower. The other one. Which one? That flower. Maybe not the flower. That's a fat guy in the flower shirt. I mean the giant full state flower. Made up of millions of them. Pull forward, nose down, tail up. Rotate around. This is insane. Barry, this is the only way I know how to fly. Am I cuckoo? Or is this plane flying in an insect-like pattern? Get your nose in there. Don't be afraid. Smell it. Full reverse. Just drop it. Be a part of it. Aim for the center. No, drop it in. Woman, come on already. Barry, we did it. You taught me how to fly. No high five, right? Barry, it worked. Did you see the giant flowers? What giant flowers? Where? Of course, I saw the flower. That was genius. Thank you, but we're not done yet. Listen, everyone, the runway is covered with the last pollen from the last flowers available on Earth. That means this is our last chance. We're the only ones that can make holiday flowers and dress like this. If we're going to survive as a species, this is our moment. What do you say? Are we going to be bees? Let's go, boys! Ka-ching! Then follow me. Accept keychain. Hold on. Barry, here. You've earned this. Yeah? I'm a pollen jogging. It's perfect. Fit. All I gotta do are the sleeves. Oh yeah, that's our Barry. Mom, the bees are back. Oh, bee. Dude, I'm so tired. Yeah. If anybody needs to make a call, now's the time. I got a feeling that we're working late tonight. Here's your chance. Have a great afternoon. Can I help? Who's next? Who would you like? Some honey with that? Is it approved? Don't forget these. Milk, cream, cheese, that's all. I don't see a nickel. Sometimes I just feel like a piece of meat. I have no idea. Barry, I'm sorry. Have you got a moment? Would you excuse me? My mosquito associate will help you. Sorry, I'm late. He's a lawyer. I was ready. I was already a blood-sucking parasite. All I needed was a briefcase. Hey, have a great afternoon, Barry. I just got this huge tulip order and I can't get them anywhere. No problem, Vanine. Just leave it to me. You're a lifesaver, Barry. Can I help? Who's next? Alright, scramble, jocks. It's time to fly. Thank you, Barry. That bee You saved my life. Let it go, Kenny. When will this nightmare end? Let it all go. Beautiful day to fly. Sure it is. Between you and me, I was dying to get out of that office. You have me to start. You have got to start thinking. Be, my friend. I'm sorry everyone. Can we stop here? I'm not making major life decisions during the production number. Alright, take 10 everybody, wrap it up. I had virtually no rehearsal for that. That's the end.